We see ever-increasing, ever-growing threats, physical threats regarding nuclear facilities, primarily, of course, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and Bushehr as well. Look at what is happening now. So, we would like to draw attention to our country's main approaches to this issue. Russia places great importance on strengthening physical nuclear security worldwide. We are firmly committed to the fundamental principle of international cooperation in the field of physical nuclear security. We hope that the ceasefire regime reached on April 16th will be strictly observed, which will create conditions for sustainable de-escalation of tension. We clearly see what is happening there, but we are guided by the desire and determination to support the ceasefire regime. And we hope that it will help rectify the rapidly deteriorating humanitarian situation there. Again, as the Russians, as they say, the threat is used by Americans with active support from several satellites to intensify steps aimed at deploying weapon systems in space and increasing military potential there. As always, they start accusing Russia of something so that they can then do it themselves or somehow justify their own illegal actions. These steps include a significant increase in the number of U.S. space forces, mass production, and uncontrolled deployment of tens of thousands of satellites into orbit, as well as the improvement of systems to suppress the space apparatus of other states. In Latvia, over 200 Soviet memorials have been dismantled in recent years. In Estonia, more than 130. In Lithuania, about 70. We are increasingly finding attempts at illegal exhumation and reburial, again, illegal, of the remains of Soviet soldiers and officers in military brotherly burial sites. The characteristic of the 20th package of European Union sanctions against Russia was the announcement by the Brussels bureaucracy and individual representatives of the EU that they immediately began working on the 21st package. You know, this would truly be a joke. And it is a joke. Today, we talked about the sarcophagus over the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. Imagine, this is another scene from this very Western theater of the absurd. On the European continent of your own protégés in Ukraine. Not only on the bank of a rooftop has it moved, but it is also moving over the Chernobyl nuclear power plant, over what remains after its accident. Maybe it would be worth involving this entire group of lawyers, economists, financiers. They engaged to develop anti-Russian sanctions to ensure at least their own security. Their main focus now is on limiting Russia's ability to export hydrocarbon raw materials. That is, the whole world is wondering, looking at the reports of what is happening in the Middle East, and where and how to get hydrocarbon raw materials to ensure supplies, development. Heating in the end? But the European Union, as they say, continues. There is a cactus. All this is happening amid a global energy crisis and a sharply felt shortage of accessible resources in most regions of the world. I think that the countries, as the Westerners call them, third world countries, which were formerly colonies of the Western world, they laugh. They cannot believe their eyes. That those states that taught them how to be supposedly civilized, taught them life, taught them business and economy, are making absolutely suicidal decisions for themselves. Another decision that Brussels is making to the detriment of its own citizens, to the detriment of the interests of both the current and long-term citizens of the European Union and EU business. Russia strongly condemns any illegitimate unilateral coercive measures. And more countries share and support precisely this approach of ours. We will adopt retaliatory measures. What will they be? They will be tough. They will be developed and implemented in accordance with our interests.